This is in regards to the collab that is coming up for Frieren. Now, if you haven't heard, the Frieren collab is going to be going in effect pretty much next week, December 23rd. All three characters are coming: Frieren, Himmel, and Fern. And as you can see from the title of this video, a lot of people are pretty much not happy with the current state of solo leveling Arise, and a little bit of this has to do with the fact that we're having another collab right after the one that we had with the Idol collab, which was not all that well received. And for the most part, the best unit from the Idol collab was Mini. Mion is pretty much useless outside of Power of Destruction. I've found some use for her, but even it's limited, and that's only because of the fact that the light element is currently weak, and the dark element still hasn't really gotten to that big of effect. Well, with the release of Sangyeon Wan and Mini, it's gotten much better, but we still have a pretty weak breaker for the dark team. Harper is not all that great, so dark is still it's ahead of light now, but it's still behind the other three elements: wind, water, and fire. Soyeon, which is the wind element, I believe, she's not all that good. Let me go ahead and pull this up because I still have my solo leveling up right here. Let me go ahead and pull that up right here. So let's go to the hunters here so I can just have these all at the top of my head. So we got Yuki right here. She's an okay fire unit, but really not all that special. Soyeon, she's an okay wind unit. Again, not all that special. And Shuhua, which is the water idol, you can do without her. She's not gonna eclipse this girl right here, Water Cha. So that's where we're currently at right now, and a lot of people are just frustrated with what's going on. So I want to go ahead and react to his video and see what the hubbub is all about. But before I do, make sure you do like, share, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. All that stuff really does help me out. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get right off into this.
What's going on, ladies and gents? Before I start off with the video, I want to remind everybody content creator program is coming to an end in 2 days. That's right. If you have not done so already, guys, click that extend button. You can also still support, so click that support, and if you are going to be supporting, please click the extend button. What you got to do is you got to log into your account. When you go into the supporter tab, you're going to see an extend button. Click that extend and get yourself back in for next season codes, plus an extra code coming your way very, very soon. If you don't click that extend, you will not be getting codes until you come back and re-support again, which will mean you may miss a code along the way. I want to say a big shout out to my top 10 BW Panda 11 second season winner. God damn, we're going to win $200. From me to you, thank you so much for supporting. My man Jay, still my dude. I love you, dude. Thank you so much for supporting as always. Telio 101, Beef Patty, Patches, Connor, Sod, Dingus, and 640, and also Deeps. Shout out to all my boys, everyone who's been supporting all the way up to the 4594. Thank you guys for being here along the way. Also, if you are following my variety content, Pokemon Rip and Ship battle tomorrow. Come join and see who wins a brand new Mega Lucario or Mega Gardevoir ETB. Now let's talk a little bit about the game, guys. All right, folks, we are back at it again. Happy belated Thanksgiving to all my Canadians who celebrated Thanksgiving. Man, what a meal, what a meal. Had a great time with the family. We're back at it again, though. So solo leveling, listen, it's been a quiet month. It has been a very quiet month, but in the next coming weeks, I say weeks because we're waiting for what, the 23rd? 23rd, something like that, right? So we're like 9 days away, guys. So a week and a bit. We got ourselves some big news, obviously, with the brand new drop of the collab. And I want to share my feelings about this because when I leaked this collab, people were, not everybody, but some people were excited, some people were upset, and I want to kind of share my thoughts on this and if there's, any reason why this collab needs to even exist. I think Zaf already touched upon this already. I was actually going to talk about this a little bit, but me personally, I don't know about you guys. Like, some of you guys are going to really care about this. I personally don't care about this collab, and I'll be honest with you guys. Like, I've been kind of doing my own thing on my free-to-play. I'm just trying to develop my free-to-play.
I think that probably has more to do with the fact that Payneblade is not a Frieren fan. He didn't know who Frieren was. He doesn't follow Frieren, so it wasn't an anime that really interested him. Maybe if it was an anime that really interested him, like maybe if there's a 7 Deadly Sins collab going on with the solo leveling, that might be different. But I think that plays a little bit into it. However, overall, me personally, I am a Frieren fan, and frankly, I am in the same boat as Payneblade, I don't care for this collab. I think, frankly, they should have pushed this back into next year. I can understand that there might be contractual obligation that required to go quickly now, but this probably should have been one where Netmarble might have said, you know something, we'll skip this one and we'll go do something a little different. So that's my personal belief on that. But let's go ahead and continue. Let's see what Payneblade has further to say.
Account, just trying to do as much as I can to complete everything that I can to continue growing on free to play. I'm still loving the game a lot, guys. There has been no issues with me and the game so far. I mean, there are some times where I'm kind of like a little bit bored here and there. I mean, this month, let's be honest, has been fairly dry. Has been dry, and there's no denying that, right? But at the end of the day, the dry periods are kind of nice because you get to enjoy other things. And if you guys haven't noticed, I've been doing other things as well too. I've been doing the whole Pokemon thing. I've been doing horror games. We've been doing other variety content. And honestly, as solo leveling will always be the main game that I play. It always will be the main gacha that I play. And I think,
and I'm going to agree with him on that too. I like the fact that the dry periods gives me an opportunity to do other types of things in addition to being able to play solo leveling. I still like to spread my content out over several days and not just finish it all in one sitting. I know there's some followers that I have that I do that. I think Payneblade also does that. I know Zaf also does that. But me personally, I like to spread that out over a few days. But again, that it can only take you so far, but because generally by Saturday, I'm all tapped out of content that I can do. And so on Sunday through Tuesday, I can go in there and do other types of things along with solo leveling. So it gives me a chance to play other types of video games. I want to play some other stuff along with I can do some horror games. I did The Killing Antidote. I want to go back and play that, finish that demo. I might pick that game up when it's a little cheaper. Killing Antidote is basically Stellar Blade meets Resident Evil 4. And you get to customize your character, which is similar to Stellar Blade. And she's a hot little Chinese. Well, I'm getting all off point and all that. But I agree with Payneblade that with solo leveling, it allows me to do other things, even outside of just gaming. I got a book that I'm trying to finish as well. So that it really allows me to do that. And I like to spend my evening time writing on my book to get that finished. I got three more chapters that I need to put off in there, and then it's pretty much done. And then I'm turning it over to my daughter so she can do some artwork. But let's go ahead and get back to this video.
other games coming out very soon as well too are going to be added to the variety of games that we play. But right now, honestly, the little bit of downtime has not been the worst. I will say this though. I will say this. This collab is kind of in a bad space. It is the collab we all wanted, and I kind of wish this was the collab they introduced originally instead of the idols. Although the idol groups themselves were handled really well and the units were great and are great, I just feel like this is probably what we all waited for. But to have a back-to-back collab like this is a little bit daunting. And I said this in my last video. I think the timing is awful. The collab is great. Whether you like Frieren or not, this is kind of the collabs we need in this game, where it's like anime IP based, and it's going to be one that is going to make people excited because they're either fans or they understand and know the IP, right? So this is, I think, what everybody kind of wanted in the first place. Maybe not necessarily this one specifically, but at the very least, this kind of collab, right? So the problem here is this should have been something they introduced in my opinion, in the 2-year anniversary, right? Because we could really do without collabs. Collabs are usually moments in a time where you're really trying to sell your game. I don't think solo leveling really is in that spot where it really needs to sell itself right now. I mean, we just got Daddy Sung. In my opinion, The Witcher, Sung El Juan, Geralt of Rivia, is like, look at this. He's got Geralt's necklace, bro. It literally looks like Geralt there with just glasses and spikier hair. It's crazy. The Witcher just introduced himself. I swear Geralt took over his body and came back. But anyways, the point is, you introduced a pretty major character to the game, and honestly, I feel like this is all we needed to see. We didn't need the introduction of a Frieren collab right now. That should have been what we introduced maybe before the anniversary, right? Or the 2-year anniversary, or maybe like.
Nah, yeah, I agree. I think when it comes down to it, these collabs can be detrimental to the overall performance of the game. These games really should rely upon their own characters to sell this game. Like, I'm not I'm not huge into the solo leveling lore. I need to get better at that. But if Sung Hyun Won is a major character in the solo leveling universe, that in and of itself would be a good selling point. And then you bring in Igris. Me personally, I fell in love with Igris when he first fought, when Sung Jin Woo first fought him in solo leveling season 1. That I was like, this character is fascinating, and to this day, I think that is still the best fight in all of solo leveling. Sung Jin Woo versus Igris. That was the one that really tested Sung Jin Woo to his limits, pushed him to his limits at the time. I don't think any other fights eclipse that. So I would be more interested in wanting to see more of those characters coming in as opposed to collabs. Again, like I said, they should have pushed this collaboration into the next year. And if they couldn't do that, they should have just said, all right, we'll just wait until another opportunity presents itself to do a collab. Putting back-to-back collabs like this is just gonna piss people off. And if they do another one after the Frieren run, or like even if it's 6 months afterwards, I think a lot of people are going to be very upset even more. So the collab, Netmarble should not be relying on too many collabs with this game. They should be relying more on the strength of the characters within the solo leveling world. I mean, like this guy right here, Wang Dong-soo. Why don't you go ahead and just give this guy a proper buff? Give him a proper buff so he's actually a useful character, because he's gonna be one of those units that new beginning players gonna get, and once they get him, they're gonna be like, "What the hell is this guy? We can't do anything with him." Give him a proper buff. Let's go ahead and continue with Payneblade.
During the 2-year anniversary, this should have been what we kind of hyped. Like, I know we all want cool collabs and shit, but I know a lot of people also hate collabs, and I always hear the comparison, right? Seven Deadly Sins, Pain, look at seven, like they're doing the same thing, and you're not wrong. Seven Deadly Sins did a lot of that, right? Where they were like constant collabs, and it just kind of threw it in your face and became very pay to win. So solo leveling has one thing that a lot of gachas don't have going for it, and that its ability to stay very free to play. Like, this is my free to play account, guys. I honestly can still compete with a lot of whales. I can, not the top whales, but I mean a lot of low spenders, a lot of like decent sized whales. Free to play players can very much contend, and that's a very, very odd thing for a gacha to allow free to play players to do. Not many games have that, and I think solo leveling does that extremely well. It should continue doing so, right? And I think the more they do that, the more their community will continue to grow and will continue to appreciate the game and play. Like, every gacha right now is stale. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care what anybody says. No matter what gacha you're playing, you can do whatever comparison you want. Gachas right now are just in a bad state in general. Like, people are now stopping gachas altogether and doing other things, right? Because I think it's just overburdened amount of gachas in the gachas, gacha sphere, and they're all pretty much becoming mimics of one another.
Is he not even, or rather not, I mean, is absolutely correct on that. I mean, if you've played Genshin Impact, you've pretty much played almost every open world MMO gacha game out there. They almost all play virtually the same. They might have a little bit of tweaks here and there to try to make it seem like they are different and innovative, but for the most part, they're all the same. And it's also the same if it's a turn-based RPG. I played Honkai Star Rail, but there's so many games that play like that, and Honkai Star Rail is not original in and of itself and everything. Even the new game that's coming out from Netmarble, Seven Deadly Sins: Deadly Origins, that has Genshin Impact vibes. The graphical style, the open worldness of it. There might be some differences in the type of combat and everything, but I'm pretty sure if they play their cards right and they have some really good open world bosses and really good events that really drag you back into the game, it can be something special. But at the end of the day, it's probably going to become dry and stale over a while. There's going to start being some areas where you're really going to need to have certain characters and certain aspects of things to try to be able to advance. I played Infinite Nikki, and Infinite Nikki was the exact same way. They're all the same, and their primary goal is to try to get as much money out of you as possible, as opposed to trying to provide you with a really good gaming experience. And me personally, I don't hate that. I know there's a lot of people that hate gotcha games precisely because of the monetization and the pay to win elements within them. I don't care about that, but to say that each of these games are unique and original, I think that's kind of a stretch. I completely agree with what Payneblade is saying right there. Man, my beard hairs keep irritating my nose. I gotta shave my shit. You guys don't care about that. Let's get back to this.
I say this and I mean it, because like, you guys remember back in the day when like every game was an idle game? Like literally every game was an idle game. They would just like copy one another, and it was just another idle game would come out and another one come out, and it would just be another carbon copy. Well, like they're doing the same thing now with these action RPGs, where everything is an open world action RPG, has a little bit elements of like, you know, like cars and like, you know, world exploration, you know, very chibi looking characters like waifus and stuff. Like it's all over the place. Like they all are doing this now, and it's becoming very much like what it was before, just a mimic copy of another, you know, another system that works. And they'll never change it as long as it works, right? They're going to continue doing the same things every single time. And what I like about solo leveling in comparison to a lot of other games is it's not as cut and dry. Like this is like, if you look at other games, like let's take into account like Woo or something else, which I really do like, by the way. I just got really bored of it, and I continue to get bored of it no matter how much I try. This is more linear and there's a lot more modes, but I appreciate that very much. I really do. I really do appreciate that very much, because I think that it makes it easier to log in, do my stuff, and just log out. I think, and I wholeheartedly mean that's the kind of game I need as a father of two, someone who does a lot of other variety things, you know. And
I'm gonna just disagree with that. I hate games that just are that suddenly become more. You just log in, do your dailies, and then log out. Those really start to piss me off over time. That's why I stopped playing Hero Wars. That's why I stopped playing puzzles and survival, because those games suddenly just got to the point where, oh, you're just logging in to do your dailies and then log out. That to me is not a game. To me is a chore. It's a work that you need to complete before you go and do some other chore. I play games that have fun for the most part. I don't play games that just log in, do my dailies, collect a little bit of rewards, and then log out. If solo leveling gets to that point, I will quit the game. If I feel like that it gets to the point where I'm just logging in to just do my dailies and then log out, I'll just quit the game. I haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm still having a bit of fun with the limited amount of content that's in the game. But if I feel that it gets to where I'm just logging in, I'm just completing the dailies, and now I'm logging out, I'll quit. I'll quit the game. And with Netmarble shooting itself in the foot with Solo Leveling Overdrive, and then that Solo Leveling remix game, or whatever it's called, or whatever the name is called, which is the top-down action RPG. With those games out, I think those are going to be cutting into Solo Leveling Arise anyway. So I would just switch over to playing something like that, and I would just put Solo Leveling Arise and kick it to the curb if I feel like it gets to just being logging in to complete dailies. So I disagree with Payneblade on that little point right there. But let's go ahead and continue.
Somebody who is on a constant basis trying to expand the channel, doing new things, more exciting things, and keeping solo leveling in the mix at the same time. And honestly, I appreciate solo leveling for having downtimes. What I don't appreciate, though, is the blatant ability to sell a collab. Like, this is what's happening right now, right? Like, we just literally had a collab, and now all of a sudden we have another collab. And I'm just like, how is it possible that we're continuously bringing out collabs back to back like this, especially when you're draining the wallets of your players? And that's not very solo leveling like. Solo leveling has been very good at maintaining a good pace for the most part. I mean, they've had their blunders like everybody else, but for the most part, solo leveling has been very fair to their player base. And I think this is the first time, I have to say, where I'm kind of like, damn, guys, like, why? Like, clearly people care about this collab. right? Clearly, because there's a lot of fans out there of this series. Like Frieren is a big collab, and I feel like they're after the Idol group, which again they did a really good job of releasing, even though nobody wanted them. I feel like there needed to be a break from collabs. Like this is just, you know, collabs are known to two things in the gacha world. They're either known as cash grabs or they're known as fillers because people are not having an easy time selling their actual characters from the manhwa. Which in this case, I would imagine Sung Il-wan probably sold pretty well. I'm imagining, right? I'm imagining this is the case. And if he didn't, then there's something really, really wrong with the game, because I would consider him to be one of the most like sought after characters, and he's incredibly good. Like he's super, super good. So all in all, guys, I feel like this was not a good timing with solo leveling, unless they really, really turn around and give us like insane amount of like copies of him or of these characters, even if they're not needed, right? Even if they're not needed. Even if people are saying these characters are going to be just like optional characters, I still feel like this is just a bad time to do it, because it's Frieren. A lot of players are going to want them, and people are going to have FOMO, right? And what you're doing is you're exhausting your whales, because we just went from, you know, buying a shitload of money on Sung Il-wan and then putting shitload of money towards 2 weapons, and all of a sudden now there are 3 characters coming out from a very, very popular IP that everyone's going to actually want to have as part of their, you know, part of their squad. So,
and if they're optional, which means that they will not replace they frankly won't replace any of your current hunters, then what's the point? I mean, Frieren is a badass. So is Stark. Stark is strong. Fern is pretty strong too. I would say Stark is probably stronger than Fern. Fern needs a little bit of wind up time to get her spells off. I'm just going off anime lore right now. But Frieren is on a whole nother level. And if she just comes in and she's just ho hum and mediocre, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be pissed. She cannot be ho hum and mediocre. She has to be OP. And then she can't be wiped out in the next meta. But if they're just optional and they aren't going to be really replaceable, like I'm just going to make an assumption, Frieren is going to be fire. If she's fire and she doesn't replace Kanae, what's the point? What's the point of having her? If she's wind and she can't replace Leonard, what's the point? Or if she's water and she can't replace Water Cha, what's the point? This is the thing about these collabs. I don't feel that there's going to be that much planning that's going to be put into these characters unless they've been working on this 6-7 months ago and they're just releasing them now, which I don't think that's the case. If they're just optional and they're going to be forgettable in the next meta, like I said, if they release another collab within even 6 months after the Frieren collab, I think that could really harm the game permanently. They're already at water's edge with this one, with this collaboration. I really don't understand the logic. And we're just making assumptions that it's contractual obligations. They wanted to get in off in it. But me personally, if I was the Netmarble higher ups, I'd have just said, "Nah, we'll skip on this one. We'll skip on this one, and if it comes around next year, we'll look at it again. If not, then we'll just keep trying to rely upon the strength of our solo leveling characters." And I think there's lots of characters within solo leveling that are really popular. And then you can create new ones too, or you can do more what ifs. Like, what if Sung Jinwoo's mama got powers, or what if there's a young Go-Gun Hee? There's all kinds of. Or how about this, old man Sung Jinwoo? There's all kinds of things you can do with the characters within the world of solo leveling that people would find exciting and would bring them into the game. and not rely and not have to rely upon collabs, especially when a collab is back to back like this, and there might be the potential that the Frieren collab might just be meaningless. But let's go ahead and let Payneblade finish up.
Again, guys, I hear you. I know some of y'all were mad that I covered it, but I mean, like, whether I covered it or not, it's irrelevant. It's gonna happen. You know what I mean? So, like, this is reality that we're facing now. So, let me know what you guys think. Are you guys looking forward to this collab? Is this, you think it's too soon? And if you think it's too soon, you know, what are you guys doing with this? Are you guys gonna summon depending on the characters? Are you gonna, you know, even if they're OP or not, are you still gonna go for them even if they're just mid characters because you like Frieren? I'm just curious what everyone's thoughts are on this, because I hear a very mixed bag here. People saying, oh, this is going to be mid, or this is going to be incredible and I can't wait, or, you know, this is too soon and I wish these guys waited and this feels like a cash grab. So anyways, guys, I'm going to continue doing my simulation here so I can just complete it, but I am very curious to hear what you guys got to say. Remember also, oopsie, that sucked. Did I just die? I just got rocked there. Damn. Guys, don't forget, tomorrow we are going to be going live on Pokemon. If you are...
All right, that seems like it's going to be the end of that. Me personally, I'm not going to summon on the Frieren collab. I like Frieren. I can't wait for season 2, which premieres January 16th, 2026. I didn't care for the first core of the first season. I thought it was too slow, and it had its moments, but overall, I think where it really picked up was the first mage exam. That's where Frieren really demonstrated her magical prowess. And Stark, well, no, Stark wasn't really involved. Fern also was able to get in there and get some of her techniques off. I really like the first mage exam arc of Frieren, and so I'm still pretty excited for the second season. But yeah, I'm gonna skip the Frieren collab. If they give you free units, great. If they don't, it is what it is. I still don't have Sung Hilwan. I won't be summoning for Sung Ilwan until he hits the custom draw pool. And if I get him, it'll probably be a long drawn slog on that one, because we all know how friendly the custom draw pool is. But those are my thoughts on the issue. If you guys want to watch the Payneblade video without my commentary, I will leave a link in the description. And what do you guys think about this? Are you guys excited for the Frieren collab? Are you guys going to be summoning, or are you going to be like me and you're going to be like, I can live without him? Whatever your thoughts, jump down in the comments and let me know what you think. And make sure you do like, share, subscribe, turn on the post notifications. All that stuff really does help me out. And remember, this is Chris Bolt signing off, and I will catch you guys in the next video. You guys take it easy.